What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more David Bowie. Once again, big shout out to Judith, who sent this several months ago, and ultimately we are going through the 1967 self-titled album, though I do have the subsequent self-titled album as well. Though, as I mentioned when I did the first reaction, the track list for this album is incomplete. Like, it's mentioned, like, in the folder listing that it's an incomplete version of this album, whereas the next self-titled album is the complete track list as far as I know. So, in any case, the next tune is Rubber Band, or the next tune that's in this folder is Rubber Band, and yeah, it immediately made me think of Kate Bush, Rubber Band Girl, but either way, as I think I said there, rubber bands have elasticity. They can stretch, at least up to a certain point, without snapping or breaking. That can be used all sorts of ways for human resiliency or adaptability, or the ability to continue and persist under strain. Obviously, you know, it could be more incidental or even specifically in relation to a rubber band, whether it's, you know, visually it was in the room, on the table at the time something happened. But my expectation is that there'd be some metaphor at play in regard to, again, stretching or elasticity. Either way, let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is David Bowie. The tune is Rubber Band, and it's from his 1967 self-titled album.
Rubber band. There's a rubber band that plays tunes out of June in the library garden Sunday afternoon, while a little chappie waves a golden wand.
Chappie.
Rubber band. In 1912 I was so handsome and so strong. My moustache was stiffly waxed and 1 foot long, and I loved a girl while you played tea time tunes. Dear rubber band, you're playing my tune out of tune. Rubber band, won't you play a haunting theme again for me, while I eat my scones and drink my cup of tea? The sun is warm, but it's a lonely afternoon. That I had joined your rubber band. We'd have played in library parks throughout the land, and one Sunday afternoon I'd find my love. Rubber band. In the 1418 war I went to sea, thought my Sunday love was waiting home for me. Now she's married to the leader of your band.
It's a short tune, but so much to say. Where do I start? Okay, so Rubber Band, by the end he's talking about a band that could play in, you know, shows, or was it pubs, and, you know, could lead to him finding a girl and so on. It's like, okay, so rubber bands, not like rubber bands I was thinking. But then it was like, you know, there were like marching band sort of sounds, and he's talking like, you know, he was in uniform with his mustache waxed and so on, which again, I've been going through Blackadder Goes Forth, which takes place in the First World War, and Stephen Fry's character has a huge wax mustache, so seemed to fit rather nicely. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happening, like, narratively, but again, it had this sort of chamber music feel, almost like a early modern music feel. It was a bit musical theater. There's a, like, unpredictability to the tune, like a playfulness to the tune as well. I was intrigued by his vocals, both the straightaway sung ones, and then there was one where it was like shouting as if it was like an aside or like in character of the person he's describing in the song. So again, it was like, what, like 2.5 minutes maybe? Barely over 2, but yeah, a lot going on in that, and I'm intrigued by the unpredictability and the songwriting, storytelling feel to it, which again, I've started to go through Joni Mitchell, and I've commented on that, after, what, a half dozen or so reactions from her first album, where it's like, I feel like I'm just immersed in this story, even though I have no idea where the story's going. And so only after a couple reactions to Bowie's early stuff anyway, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, where it's like, well, it's sort of like, you know, quirky, I guess, for lack of a better word, but in a compelling way. So, and indeed, people mention, like, you know, he goes through phases where his music changes, and, you know, suddenly, you know, there's tunes that are perhaps seen in retrospect as much more of a hit, or as, you know, memorable classics than stuff super early on. But either way, I'm keen to take the journey. Once again, shout out to Judith, as well as to all the folks who commented on the first reaction. Let me know what you think of this quirky, charming little tune, and I will see you next time. Peace.